for letting me into your home. I am so excited to come and see
Very
your
good.
home.
Thank you.
And how are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Okay, you're fantastic. Now, before we get started, do you mind if I take just one moment to take a look at your home?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm just going to see
Would
it in
you
the
like
eyes of
me
a
to show
buyer.
you?
That's fine too. I just want to see it in the eyes of a buyer. Is that
Okay,
fine
go
with you?
ahead.
Thank
Yeah,
you
that's
very
fine.
much. Fast forward 5 minutes. Okay. So I brought a pen for you here.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you very much. So, Christine, before we get started, I wrote down 3 real important questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. 1, do you absolutely have to sell your home?
Well, I don't absolutely have to, but I absolutely want to.
You absolutely want to.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, will you price your home to sell, or do you want to keep it on the market a long period of time?
You know, I don't want to keep it on the market for a long period of time, but I know what my home is worth, so I don't want to go below that price.
You don't want to go below that price,
No.
and you know what the home is worth.
Yes.
Fantastic. And if I remember correctly, before I came over, we talked on the phone,
Yeah.
you were talking about how you need to get your kids
Uh-huh.
into a great school, right?
Yes.
Because you're a fantastic parent. You want them to start in Fullerton? Fantastic. I just want to remember that. And do you want me to handle the sale for you?
Well, it just depends. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes?
Mhm.
Okay, fantastic. Now, Christine, at the end of my presentation this morning, one of 3 things will happen.
Okay.
1, you'll have the opportunity to list your home with me,
Okay.
or you'll decide not to list your home with me,
Okay.
or 3, I'll decide not to take your listing.
Really?
Anyone is fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now, let's quickly take a moment and review the questions that I asked you over the phone.
Okay.
Now, you said you're moving to Fullerton,
Yes.
correct? Fantastic. And you said you're moving because of your growing family and because you're a fantastic parent. You want them to go into one of the Fullerton school districts,
Yes, I do.
and you only want the best for your children. Is that right?
Yes, you are.
Fantastic. Now, you said you had to be there by the start of fall, if I remember correctly, so you can get your kids registered in school.
Yes.
And you want your boys, your twin boys, to go into a top-notch elementary school in Fullerton.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic. Now, you said you wanted to price your home at $399,000. Is that
Yes,
correct?
you are correct.
Okay, and not a penny below that?
No.
Fantastic. And you mentioned that, you owe nothing,
No.
right?
I owe nothing.
Completely paid off?
Yes.
So free and clear. So we're not losing anything, right? Worst case scenario?
Well, I mean, the money that I've invested into it
Right.
and what I paid for it, I feel that I should get all of it back.
Absolutely, and you should get all of it back, right? And in fact, regardless of what's going to happen, you're going to have a hefty down payment as long as we can get your home sold. Isn't that right?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, fantastic. Now, you weren't planning on selling it yourself, were you?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And of course, we're taking all your money out for your purchase, right?
Yeah, I don't want to help finance the
Okay,
buyer.
fantastic. Now, there are only 2 issues that we have to look at tonight.
Okay.
Number 1, your motivation to sell this home. And number 2, the price we sell your house.
Okay.
Set for your house.
Yeah.
Okay?
I understand.
So you're extremely motivated to get your kids the best possible life for their
Yes.
future, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Now, I prepared what we call a comparative market analysis.
Okay.
And there are 2 parts, and I brought a copy for yourself.
Okay, wonderful.
And, I know you're not huge into numbers as well. I know there's some of these are confusing. So
Yeah.
I've done the due diligence of highlighting
Okay,
just the most
great.
important, pertinent
Great.
parts for you.
Thank you.
So we have the exact same pages, so we can flip it over so
Okay.
we don't get lost. Okay.
Thank you. So this is my house.
Mhm. So there are 2 parts to this research.
Okay.
Part 1 we call Fantasyland, and that's what homeowners want to list their homes for.
Okay.
Part 2 we call Reality,
Mhm.
and that's what real estate agents list and sell homes for.
Okay.
And we're going to have to decide tonight where you're going to spend your time.
All right.
Sound fair enough?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, fantastic. Now, the purpose of this comparative market analysis here is to
Mhm.
determine the value of your home in the eyes of a buyer.
Okay.
Do you know how buyers determine value?
Well, I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Mhm.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, let me explain. Buyers determine value by comparison shopping.
Yeah.
They look at the price of your home based on all its features and benefits
Yeah.
and compare it with the features and benefits of similar homes that have sold recently or are currently on the market.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. For example, Christine,
Mhm.
if you were going to purchase a new car and one dealership had a car for $50,000
Mhm.
and another dealership had the same car for $45,000, but included fancy wheels and a navigation system. Which would be more valuable for you?
Well, of course, the one with the wheels and the navigation.
The one with the wheels and the navigation,
Yes.
right? Fantastic. Now, what if the first dealership put the car didn't include the fancy wheels and didn't include the navigation, and it went on sale for $45,000? Which would be a better value for that?
Well, I guess it just depends on what you like.
Right.
If you want the fancy wheels and the navigation, you're willing to pay a little bit more.
So everybody wants the item with more features, but with a lower price. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, of course.
It's common sense, right?
Yeah.
All of us have done shopping before. We've all done window shopping. Exactly. Now, as you can see, if you want to increase value in a home, you have to either A, lower the price, or B, have more features and benefits for the same price.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And as you saw, my home is full of features and benefits. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It's full of features and it's a beautiful home. And
Thank
you've done a great job
Thank you.
of upkeeping it. And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
your kids and your family must appreciate you greatly. Isn't that right, Christine?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So, unless you're planning on adding more features and benefits to your home, well, actually, are you?
No.
You're
we're
not,
done.
right? Okay, fantastic. So price is the only issue.
Yeah.
Can I show you what I mean?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic. So let's look at this real quick. So the first page here, and if you don't mind, you can use your pen and make some notes. And if you don't mind, I'm going to have my notebook out here too so that
Okay.
I jot down everything you say and make sure I'm giving you the best possible attention. Is that fine with you?
That sounds
Thank
great.
you. So this is your home right here. So you had it listed at $399,000.
Yes, I did.
Correct? And this was put up on the market, just a touch before the end of December. And then
Yeah.
it just expired, right?
Yes.
So you have 3 bedrooms,
Mhm.
2 baths,
Mhm.
and it's 1,234 square feet.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. Now, let's look at some of the other homes in your area that I've
Okay.
also listed and sold.
Mhm.
And you know what? Before we move on, I want you to take a look at the second page real quick. And I highlighted something very important.
Yes.
So you see that right there where it says SO comp at 2%?
Yes.
So that was your previous agent.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what the details were, but you guys must have cut your commission and put it up as 2%, right? Obviously.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's
you
actually
know-
a fantastic concern, and we're going to get back to that later, and that's why I highlighted for now.
All
okay?
right.
So we'll put a pin on that,
All right.
and we'll
that's
continue. Okay? So on the third page here,
Fair. Mhm.
as you can see, the first item here
Yes.
in Flemington Court, can you tell me how many bedrooms this place has?
This property
Which is right here
has
under the highlight. I forgot to highlight that part.
3 bedrooms,
3 bedrooms, okay. And how many baths?
2 bathrooms,
And how many square feet?
1,234. So it's
Right.
exactly the same as mine, and it's listed at 425.
Exactly. So let's say at 425,
Yes.
right?
Actually, then I could even raise my price. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
Uh-huh.
And we'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
So let's look at the next one here.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a closed sale, as you can see. I highlighted that.
Yes.
What was the original price on it?
$379,
What was the selling price?
$365.
And what was the listing date on that?
It was listed. Let me see
It's
here.
right under here, under the highlight.
On February.
February, right? And it sold approximately in April, about 2 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. And what are the features here? How many beds?
It's a 2-bedroom.
2 bedroom,
bath.
2 baths. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And it's sold
1,051 square feet, so it's a lot smaller than mine.
lots more than yours, but similar enough. Wouldn't you agree? So it gives you an idea.
It is similar.
So we're not looking for exacts, we're just looking for
I
similar.
know where this is.
Fantastic.
You know, this house isn't that nice either. It's on a busy area. and
Oh,
there's a lot of
absolutely. Your
traffic
house
there.
is much better than this one.
I agree.
completely agree.
I agree.
Not even the same ballpark.
Mhm.
You know? Let's go to the next page here. So for this one, this is also another closed sale, and you can, as you can see, what was the original price on it?
It was listed at $369.
And it sold at $367, right?
Yeah.
Now this part is really interesting because this is a very recent comp.
Mm-hmm.
When was the list date?
It was listed in April.
April, right? And when was the selling date?
In May.
In May, right?
Uh-huh.
And literally virtually under 30 days, this home sold, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Now let's move on to the next one here.
Okay.
This one,
Mm-hmm.
off of Greystone,
Mm-hmm.
it's sold for $370, correct?
Uh-huh.
But it listed at $349. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down. And the thing is, they had a little bit more time. They had about 5 months. It listed at October, would you say?
Yeah.
You see that? And when did it close?
In March.
In March, right? So they had a little bit more time. Fantastic. So you can kind of see what prices they're asking, right? You have an idea so far? And we'll continue going on with this.
Okay.
Now, as you can see, and I'm not going to bore you with all these details because I know numbers get confusing. As you can see, there's a pattern going on here with a lot of these homes, and these are some. And since there aren't too many comps in your area, I had to pull some from last year. And you can see these are from last July, last September, and can we all agree that 9 months to a year—that's a very long time for situations to change?
Yeah.
I mean, 1 year, that's 12 months. It's 52 weeks. You know, that's 525,600 different minutes where situations can change. A lot of things can happen in that time, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, what price do you feel we should use to create value in the eyes of the buyer and get someone to decide to buy your home versus the competition?
Well, you know, based off of what I'm seeing here, I noticed that there is another one. The first one, it's active now, so that one is listed at $425.
Absolutely.
And mine is actually located at a much better area in our complex. It's close to the clubhouse, and you have easy access in and out.
Okay.
So that one's listed at $425. If I was going to list at $399, I actually think mine should be listed a little bit higher than this one.
Right, absolutely, and I can certainly see how you can think that way.
So, in your professional opinion, what do you feel is the correct listing price?
Now, after studying these prices and determining the patterns of what's sold and what buyers are demanding, I would personally suggest a price of $365,000.
$365.
Right, $365, and I can see the surprise on your face right now.
Yes.
And this seems a little disappointing, right? But man, I gotta tell you, what an opportunity this must be for you. May I tell you why?
Yes, why?
So your previous agent couldn't get your home sold, right, at $399?
No, he couldn't.
Right. And would you say because it didn't sell at $399, and you're seeing that the homes that were sold in the past few months, none of them sold anywhere close to $400? You can see that that might be a bit of an issue. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So at $425, so this listing that you see right here, would you say, I mean, that's a very admirable and lofty price, you know, good goal to reach for, but would you also say that they might also encounter some difficulty in selling?
Possibly.
Possibly, right?
But, I mean, why can't I at least list it at $425 like them, since mine has more features and benefits?
Now, here is the true beauty of what I'm about to tell you in the marketing plan I'm going to share with you. Now, would you say it's acceptable if we can get within 5 to 10% of the selling price that you originally asked for when it expired?
Well, I would like to get, that's my bottom price. Is
that's your bottom, okay, that's your bottom price?
Yeah.
But let's say we did receive some counter offers, so 5 to 10% around there, that's standard wiggle room. Wouldn't you agree? We can get close to that. Would that be at least worthwhile, something to think about?
10%?
5 to 10% of within your selling price. I'm only mentioning that 5 to 10% because as you can see, previously, you saw that all these homes that were listed, with the exception of one, they all fell below the original asking price, right? For instance, right here, $379 to $365. If you see on the next page here, this one here also, from $399, just like you asked for, and it came from $370. So as you can see, the reality of the situation is that it's not, people are going to negotiate. Same way, when you wanted me to handle the buy of your next home, right?
Yeah.
And you would definitely expect me to negotiate a better price than what they're asking for, right?
Yeah.
Now, don't you think the buyers for your home would expect the same thing?
Okay, well, you know, that brings up another point that I had.
Okay.
If we do list it at, I'm sorry, you said $369?
$365.
$365. So if I list my home at $365, that is much below my asking price.
Absolutely. And you know what? You know how we're going to fix that?
Yeah.
So your previous home didn't sell at $399, right? And do you remember there was another issue that I kind of highlighted? So your previous agent listed your home at 2% commission to the seller?
Yeah, because I'm only offering 4%.
You're only offering 4%?
Yes.
Ouch. Now I can see the problem there.
And why is
I got to tell you, even at 4%, if your home doesn't get sold, What's the point? I mean, you can offer 1%, and if it still doesn't get sold, I mean, yeah, you save your money on the commission, but you still have to get your home sold, right?
Yes.
And let me ask you again. So your kid, you want to make sure your kids get registered for school for the upcoming fall quarter, right?
Yeah, I do.
Right. And Fullerton has some of the best elementary schools that this country has to offer, right?
Yes, I do.
And you don't want to disappoint your children, right?
No.
So if anything, I know you want to be moved in by fall, but in reality, you got to get your kids registered by the end of August. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Can they afford to miss 1 year of school? Or do you want them to go to another year of school and then transfer over? Is that acceptable?
No.
No, it's rough, right?
So what is your commission?
You know what? I'd like to charge an 8% commission.
Really?
And let me tell you why. I'm going to take 4%, and what we're going to do, we're going to do something called baiting. We're going to go out and let's list it at a 4% commission for the buying agents. And let me tell you, even at $365, you're going to get every agent in town, even the ones who have been hibernating since the last crash, the ones who even didn't think they're going to work anyway, they're all going to come out of the woodworks, and they're going to be fighting for the right to buy your property. Now, would you agree the more offers we get, the more we can negotiate, the more we can turn them around, right?
Okay.
Now imagine this. Now just hypothetically think about this. We listed at $399. Heck, let's list it at $425, right? And you only get one offer. And that offer comes out to be a low ball to, let's say, $399 again. But you still want that $425, right?
Yeah.
Now, since you only have that one offer, could you say it's very easy to maybe just drive them away?
Possibly.
Possibly, right? But let's say we had 10 or 15 offers. Now we got some puppet strings, don't we? Now you got yourself a maestro, a powerful agent like myself, who can control, handle, and facilitate all these offers in the best of your interest to get you an even higher price than what you asked for. That's why I said from $365, we could very well come within 5% of your original asking price. Are you starting to see that possibility right now, Christine?
Yeah,
Right?
It makes sense. But
Absolutely.
8%? I mean, I've never even heard of that before.
You've never even heard of that, right?
No.
You're right?
I heard it was anywhere between 3.5% to 5%.
3.5% to 5%,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know what? That's actually a great concern. Because I also see that a lot. And I also see plenty of agents who don't get home sold.
Yeah.
Would you like to see the difference between what I do and they do?
All right. Well then.
Well, I think the bigger question here is not the commission, but do you think I can get your home sold for the best possible price possible? Do you believe I have that confidence, Christine?
I think so.
Okay, let's go ahead and sign that contract.
Well, but before that, I actually have a few questions. How long is your listing period?
Our company's standard policy is 6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
Really?
And here's the thing. You said you need to get your kids registered by the end of August, right?
Yeah.
Today is June 5th. So really, we only have about 10 weeks before we can get the title transferred over, get your affairs in order, have you moved in, and only then are the local schools going to accept the application for your children to go there. Would you agree?
Yeah. So based upon my time frame, I only want to sign a 2-month contract.
You only want to sign a 2-month contract, right?
If it doesn't go into escrow within 2 months, I'm going to wait till next
And
year.
I can certainly appreciate that. And how about we do this? Let's go ahead and sign that contract right now for 6 months. And I'll review it with you for every 30 days. And honestly, I'm not here for your listing. I'm here to sell your home. Do you believe I can sell your home?
Yeah, I do.
Do you believe that I'm here because I want to sell your home?
Yes, I do.
Absolutely, right? So I wouldn't want this listing if I couldn't get your home sold, or if I didn't have the confidence to get your home sold in the time frame that you wanted, right? So hey, let's go ahead and sign that contract for 6 months. And I want you to start packing right now because you're going to be enjoying your new life in your new home right away. Sound fair enough?
Okay, well before we do that,
Sure.
How will you advertise? Do you advertise in the newspaper, on the internet?
No,
What
I
is
don't do
your
any of that at all.
strategy? Really?
My strategy is, and I'll give you an exact schedule of what I've been doing. So what I'll be doing every morning, I'm going to be spending 2 hours from 9 to 11 prospecting, just like I found you, calling for buyers and sellers. Because let's face it, anybody who sells a home in there, 80% of people who sell their home, they move into a bigger or different home in their same neighborhood anyway. So as you can see, you're one of those people that I called and we made an appointment, right? Because you want to sell your home.
Yeah.
And that's what I do all day. That's all I do. I call people who want to buy or sell a home.
Okay.
Now, are there any other questions about what I'm going to be doing to sell your home?
All right. Well, actually, how many homes have you sold in this area?
How many homes have I sold in this area?
Yeah.
You know what? Our team has sold, I'd say, in this particular, not too many because we focus on more of the high action areas. Around here, I'd say only about 3 or 4. But you know what? What a fantastic opportunity this must be for you. May I tell you why?
Why is that?
Because our company sells so many homes in so many different areas. When they see our signs and the buyers start calling us to come in, we're going to expose them to your neighborhood and show them opportunities that they never even would have thought of before. Now, do you think a local broker who only works your area in that narrow region, do you think they're going to have the same exposure that I can offer you?
Yeah, well...
Are you starting to see how powerful of an agent and how powerful of a service that I will be providing for you?
I can see that, but you know, Jahon, right?
Yes.
I've never heard of you before, you know, and Richard Kim actually is my neighborhood specialist, and he's been stopping by my house for the past few weeks.
Absolutely, and you know what? He's a fine, fantastic agent. And let me ask you, does it really matter if you've never heard of me? Because again, like I said, I haven't worked in your neighborhood, but I've worked in plenty of others.
Okay.
Now, if it makes you feel better, let's go ahead and sign that contract. And if it makes you feel better, I have more than enough testimonials from happy clients who have signed with me. Would that work out for you?
Okay. Well,
let me tell you this, Christine. Let's go ahead and sign that contract. And the only problem that you're going to have is that I didn't call you for 6 months ago when you wanted your home for sale at the beginning. And man, if I had 6 months of worth of your time, I probably could be able to wrangle a higher price. But right now, that's not the case, right?
No.
We have 10 weeks to get this into action, right? And even in a very positive, optimistic timeline for an escrow, that's still 4 weeks, right? So really, you only have 6 weeks for us to find you a buyer and put you into escrow.
Yeah.
Time is of the greatest essence, right?
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you, Christine. If you even do half as well as my other sellers who listed with me, you'll be very, very impressed. Sound fair enough?
All right, that sounds good. You know, Jahon, how often do you hold open houses?
Never.
Because really.
Unless one of my agents want to volunteer. And may I tell you why?
Why is that?
So I told you earlier that I prospect all day trying to find a buyer or a seller for your home, right? So when do people usually hold open houses?
On the weekends.
On the weekends, right? So on a Saturday or a Sunday. Now, did you know, according to the National Association of Realtors, that Sunday is the slowest day to sell a home?
Really?
Right.
Okay.
And open houses are actually, in fact, the slowest method to selling a home. So let me ask you, why would I want to spend my time on the slowest day, using the slowest activity to sell your home? I mean, let me ask you, do you see plenty of open sign houses on the weekends?
Yeah, you know, I see them all the time in my area.
Absolutely,
so
and you see them again,
it would
right?
be a good way to expose my property.
It's a good way to expose it, right? Is it a good way to, but the bigger question is it a good way to expose it effectively? Now, let me ask you, here's a question. Do you see the same open house signs over and over every weekend?
That's a good point, yes,
right?
I
And what does that tell you?
The house is not selling.
The house is not selling, right? So I don't want to spend 4 hours of my time sitting in an empty house, waiting and hoping a buyer comes in. In fact, I'm going to aggressively approach all the top agents in town, and I'm going to be calling everybody in your neighborhood to see who wants to buy your home. Sound fair enough?
Okay, that sounds good. And let me see, Jahon, what is your average sales price that you work with? Do you work with a lot of houses in my sales price?
Absolutely. May I tell you why?
Okay.
You know, I work with plenty of sellers just like yourselves. They're good parents. They want the best for their children, and they're ready to upgrade into a bigger home.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with that.
Do you have any buyers right now?
Absolutely. They're just waiting to get in through the door, and all I need for you to do before we can sign that is for you to sign that contract.
All right. Well, before I do that, I have 2 more agents that I'm going to interview.
Okay.
So one of them is a referral.
It's
actually my family friend.
Oh, it's your family friend. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll do a fine job for you, right?
Yes, they will.
Now, question here. What specifically would cause you to choose another agent versus someone like myself?
Well, because I already, trust them and they've been in the business for a while. They're not full-time or anything,
They're not
but
full-time, okay?
I trust that they can get the job done.
Absolutely. And the question here, we've discussed that we need to get you out of here in place in 10 weeks. But the true timeline here is 6 weeks, right? And your friend isn't a full-time agent?
No.
So do you want someone who does a full-time effort for you to get your home sold? Are your children worth a full-time effort?
That's true. So do you work as an agent? That's your only job, correct?
Absolutely. That's the only thing I do all day. I call everybody all day to get your home sold.
Okay.
Now, are there any other questions about what I'm going to be doing to get your home sold?
Yeah, actually, what is your marketing plan? If you don't do any advertising, so you strictly just make phone calls all day?
Phone calls, and you know what? I have a network of the top agents in town.
Oh, really?
And I actually talk to people who are actually going to be selling homes, right? And let me ask you this. That's actually a great question. How did I find you?
You called me.
I called you, right?
Yeah.
And you were one of those people that I'm looking for, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And would you say according to that track record that I could most likely do the same with someone else?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have confidence that I can find a buyer for your home, right?
Yeah, I do.
Under the best possible conditions? Okay. I think all there's left to do is sign that contract.
All right. Well, one more thing is, if you help me sell my home, I will actually be buying my replacement home through you.
Absolutely.
So will you be willing to give me some sort of compensation, let's say about $5,000?
You know what? That's actually an excellent point to bring up. And here's the thing. So you want me to handle the buy of your next home, right?
Yes.
And I'm also handling the sell of this home, right?
Yes.
And I'm also handling finding the buyer for this home as well, right?
Yes.
So I'm really doing 3 transactions at once, right? For the price of 2. To be honest, I should probably charge you a higher commission for that. But you know what? You're going to get a great deal. I'm going to coordinate all 3 so they close for you at a time frame which you deem is acceptable and make sure it works out for you. Now, do you think any other agent will do that for you? Or can they afford to do that for you?
Well, my last agent, he charged me 4% and he was willing to give me the $5,000.
I know, fantastic. And what happened there?
He just wasn't aggressive enough, I guess, or wasn't,
Absolutely.
aware of the neighborhood.
And what happened to your home, Christine?
I wasn't able to sell it that time.
It didn't sell, right? So even if I offered you a 1% commission, or even if you offered me $1 to sell your home, and you got full price at $425,000 or $399, is there any point if no one buys your home?
All right. Well.
Can you see how that makes sense? Doesn't make much sense, does it, Christine?
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and sign that contract.
Well, since I do have those 2 other interviews, I would like to interview them.
Okay.
And I will give you a call in about a week. Is that okay?
And I can certainly appreciate that. And question here, are you choosing the next agents based on the fact that you like them, or is it their personality, or the fact that they can sell their home?
Well, because I already let them know and it's already scheduled, so I want to give them the respect of
Absolutely. And you know what? I definitely appreciate that. And you know what? You seem like a very honorable person who knows where their loyalties lie, and I can really appreciate that. And again, let me ask you: do you believe I can sell your home for you?
Yes, I'm pretty confident.
Do you believe I have the confidence to sell your home for you?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that I have a strong marketing plan and a plan of action to make sure that home gets sold in the time that you want and the price that you want?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
And do you feel comfortable talking with me, and do you feel like I'm a professional who you'd be comfortable to work with?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and sign that contract. And you know what? I know that you're a very friendly person. I'd be more than happy to call those other 2 agents and tell them, hey, you've already signed with me, but if they have buyers that they want to work with, I'd be more than happy to work with them on that. That way everybody would. Sound fair enough?
All right.
All right, let's go ahead and sign that contract.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
What do you guys think?
Wow.
Wow, right?
Wow.